Hello, it's Trena from John's Furniture Repair, and I'm in the shop today with this beautiful quarter-sawn oak rocker. It's got a bentwood seat. It's just going to be returned back to the original condition, but there are some pretty big issues. Well, not too huge, but I'll show you some details here and we'll get to work. Okay, so we've got a lot of beautiful choice wood here. These veneers are really shining on the whole seat, and this back too is a really nice choice piece. And you can't do that with solid wood very easily. You've got to use veneer. Nothing wrong with veneer, guys. So, main issues that we have here. We've got a arm that's been worked on before and a big metal bracket that's been added. Not the best situation there. And on this arm as well, we have a screw that goes through this post here. And another addition, we've got a steel wire added to two eye bolts that are in there. So we're gonna remove those for sure. The whole thing is pretty rickety, needs a good re-glue. And another issue we have down here is this rocker's been repaired at one point. It might be an okay repair. I haven't checked it out too far yet, but it was split in half. So we'll be making sure that's okay. This arm as well has a little nail through going into the post here. So probably just trying to keep it together as it got looser over the years. But that's pretty much it for big issues. There are a few things that we'll take care of, like these carved pieces have little tips missing, so we'll put those back. Compressor's always got something to say. Okay, so as I was saying, putting those little carvings back, and then we're going to be regluing the whole thing, and we're going to be refinishing these arms because they're worn out. And then the rest of it's in really great condition. We're just going to be doing a beeswax on the rest of the chair. So let's do what we need to do first in every case. Get this on the workbench and take it apart. This one has a metal bracket here. Hey guys, I'm in a furniture shop in Toronto. I went on a trip this weekend and I just want to show you a couple of the cool pieces I found in the basement of, what's this place called? Bungalow? In the Kensington Market area. So in Toronto, Ontario, Kensington Market Bungalow in the basement. Let me show you some stuff. It's really cool. First off, we got this gorgeous, beautiful teak table. Look at the graining on that leaf right there. And it comes with a set of really beautiful chairs, and I love these. These are so interesting. I love the back design. It's really thick, and it comes to a really thin point on the edge. Really interesting stuff. I don't know who makes this, but it's kind of trying to be an Eames chair, but it's interesting. I got a rosewood cabinet here. Really interesting. I kind of like this little desk here. That's really cool. And this is something I've been looking for a long time for my own house. It's kind of like a separation type divider type shelf thing. It's really interesting with some sliding shelves. If you've wondered what my kind of style is, it's right here. There's a bunch of other stuff in here too that's just interesting, like this coffee table here. I like that style. Anyways, thought I'd just take you guys along as I found some cool stuff here.
I'm gonna show them the ham chairs. Look at these.
Ham chairs. Oh yeah.
Make your butt look like a ham.
Make your butt look like a ham. Look at those. How comfortable do you guys think those would be on a summer day in shorts? Hey guys, I'm at the Royal Ontario Museum and we are looking at some ancient furniture. So I thought I'd show you if you haven't been here before. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this little visit to the Royal Ontario Museum. See you back in the shop. Okay, so I've got the rocker on here that was broken, and I did glue it back together, but it's been broken a couple times, so it needs some strength. So we're gonna be putting a couple of dowels going right through and just giving this brake a little bit of extra strength. We could make a new rocker, but I think this will be just fine. All right, so we've got all of the pieces repaired and partially reglued some areas together, like the two side braces here. So we're ready to get this thing glued back together. And it's a little bit of a complicated piece to glue back together, but it'll be okay. And we've got the top here. I've got the spindles glued into the backrest, and all the little carvings done and ready for touch-ups. So I think I'll get this thing all back together before I do those. Just be easier to see the whole thing as one. And yeah, so wish me luck here. I'm gonna glue this thing together. Alrighty, so there it is, all glued together. This one was really difficult, mostly because of these little spindles. They each have their own special angle, and that makes them so special. Anyways, they're all in there, and everything's in its place. And we did have to, on this arm, re-drill all the holes in here because we plugged them, and then re-drill the fastener in here. The other side was okay. And then the other thing, we've got our little carved pieces on these guys here. So those are all put together nicely and looking better. All those little touches will, in the end, come together. And then our little carved areas here on the back. And I put a screw through the front here, like an amateur. I guess I should have checked the length on the screws that they had in there because that obviously wasn't right. They probably had it in that spot before. So that's one they did, and now I added another one. So I'll have to fix that. Anyways, I'm a human being, so that's what happens. So here's another little area that we've got the carving fixed up. So everything is kind of in ground zero stage here for starting to make it look beautiful, but we've got it back to a sturdy chair. I'm gonna let it dry overnight, and then we'll work on all the touch-ups and the finishing. Okay, so it's the next morning, and I've got all the clamps off. Took this screw out that I'd gone through the front with and grounded it off and put it back in and gluing back the little pieces that were lifted there. Did a couple putty fills in some places. We're not looking for perfection on this piece, just sturdiness and kind of really just back to the original finish. I decided to sand both of the rockers just because we had to do that one that was broken, just so they look the same, as well as both the arms, so it's kind of symmetrical. So right now I'm just going to be washing the whole thing down with crud cutter and water here with a Scotch pad, giving everything a good scrub before we start to do any staining and touching up. So let's get it all cleaned up. Okay, so now that we've got it all washed down, there wasn't too much dirt on it, but it was pretty dirty. Just gets that way after a life. We're gonna take 180 sandpaper and just give the whole thing a good sand. The other thing I wanna note is if you're gonna get your raw wood wet in one spot, just wet the whole thing. So I did that as well on these because it was kind of hard to avoid when we were washing. So I'm just gonna be going over the whole thing with a, heavier in other areas than some, just to open up any areas that need to be stained up a little bit. And we're gonna be using a stain to go over the whole thing afterwards, just to even everything out. And we're gonna be using Gaudy's Golden Oak stain and just washing that over the whole chair to get everything looking back to a nice cohesive look. So top to bottom with 180. right, so we've got the chair all stained up. It's looking really good. You can see how some of the repairs have blended in. That's one of our carved pieces there. And that's another one up there. So looking really good with the original. Other stuff we did was quite a bit of repairs on this arm here. There was pieces missing all along this piece. And back here, I should turn around so it's in the light. Remember, there was a bunch of holes here, like 2 holes drilled to go into the arm with a metal bracket on the outside that was sitting in here. So we've got all of those filled and plugged and looking good. So the other thing we did was this rocker repair. And we ended up going right through dowels because there's just not a lot of meat here. So right through with 2 dowels. So now it's a jointed repair, which is what needed to happen there. And then we did a couple of carved pieces. One on the bottom here that was missing, this little round piece here. And then the other one is up here that we recarved up there, a little round piece. I forget what else we did, but I'm sure there was something. Anyways, it's looking pretty good. Oh yeah, we did this little piece down here. You can kind of see where our new stuff is. So we're gonna actually throw some lacquer on this. I was just gonna beeswax it, but we've refinished a few pieces and I think we just need to put another couple coats of finish on this before we beeswax. And then I think we're pretty much on the home run. So let's throw some lacquer on. And there it is, all finished up. Looking gorgeous. That beautiful tiger oak standing out really nicely now. So, repairs. We've got our little carved pieces that we did. The little ends of those swirlies came back together really nicely. And we got all of the entire chair re-glued. All of these joints were loose, so we did every single spindle and the whole frame. The arms were pretty worn down, so we got them back to a beautiful color to match the rest of the chair. We had some pretty serious repair on this arm. This whole area was broken out and there was a bracket down here. There's still kind of a nub where it was sitting that went like that. And then over here, if you remember, we had that bracket coming in the frame here and then up to the arm to hold it in place. So that's all beautifully back together the way it's supposed to be. And we did do a few little carved pieces on the little ends of these balls, these little pieces here, that one, and as well as that one on the bottom there. It's just shining in the sun. And we did replace the little bottom of the carving right there. And I don't even remember where else. The seat was in great condition, but we just gave it a really nice buff down. And it's nice and smooth again, looking really great. And yeah, and the back posts here. We had a couple repairs on this guy here. There was a few extra holes drilled in the back of it. Actually, all of these screws were stripped out, so we fixed that all. It's all nice and sturdy now. And this rocker here was split right there. And we've got a couple of dowel joints going through to keep it nice and sturdy and together. So thanks for joining me on this one, guys. It's a nice, beautiful tiger oak rocker, bent ply rocker, looking really beautiful again and ready to go back home. If you enjoy these videos, you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description below this video. And as always, thanks so much. Cheers.